What show is this, Sarah?
Well, Georgia, this is ShoopShow.
What's our subject today, Sarah?
Fear.
Fear. Every time I move to a new country, I make a to-do list of things that I have to do before I leave. The one that I didn't do on the list was do something that scares the shit out of you. It's really hard to scare the shit out of me, and that's why we're here. What about spiders? Like a good spider on your wall?
I love spiders.
Sarah's so good. Anywhere at work, she will go get the spider and trap it in a cup and take it out.
Although if it's in the winter, I'll just put him back in the kitchen.
All right, good
There
to know.
should be a few spiders and a centipede back there right now.
This whole spider family. We're not scared of the dark, right?
No, but I like to imagine terrifying monsters in the dark, and then that scares me. So it's really just my brain.
Oh. How do you feel about clowns? I think it became more popular recently to be afraid of clowns. Like a couple years ago, it was like a thing that people were being like chased around in parks by people dressed as clowns.
Yeah. You know, it does make me uncomfortable. When people dress up in those big mascot costume things.
Oh.
Because I always assume that there's a predatory man under that.
Yeah, that could be. Achievement phobia. The fear of success.
My brain must subconsciously be afraid of success because I've never experienced it in my life.
You're like, ooh, get that away from me.
The second success is within my grasp. I don't need to tell you the rest, or I wouldn't be here.
We wouldn't be here in this attic, in the Shoop Shack. What about public speaking?
I'm not afraid of it, but I used to be a lot better at it when I was younger. And
Me too.
then I got more nervous to do it in college, but probably because I assumed everybody hated me, which they probably did. I'm good at it if I can make my speeches have more comedy in them. If I have to make a serious speech, then I'm really uncomfortable. No one's really reacting, so I'm assuming that they're just looking at me, waiting for me to die.
Fear of feet.
If I see a foot on the street...
Yes, a disembodied foot on the street. Okay.
It's fine. What bothers me the most about feet is when their toenails look like corn chips.
Oh.
Corn chip toenails and trench foot from World War I, where parts of their feet just fell off. Because in the trenches it was just wet all the time, so their feet were just constantly in a moist environment, and then their heels would start to peel off and stuff.
So, when you sneeze, you can't open your eyes because your eyes will fall out. So that's a whole bespoke horror that we don't need to talk about. But I'm really scared of sneezing while driving because in that second when I sneeze, and then I could crash and die. I'm not scared of the crashing and dying. I'm scared of dying because of that.
I have a fear that I will commit a crime and then get away with it, and then I'll feel like I'm scot-free, and then 19 years later they'll find out that it was me.
Wow. That's a fear? That's a fear that you have?
That's why I haven't done anything yet.
Been skydiving, been bungee jumping, and the falling part doesn't scare me. My very specific fear is the part from when I'm standing upright to falling, the jumping. That's the thing that's scary to me.
I have a fear that someone has hypnotized me, and every time someone says a key word like houseboat, I act out in some way, whether I just walk around and act like I'm a chicken or something until someone says another key word like boathouse, in which case I return to my normal state having no recollection of what actually just happened, and this is an ongoing joke for anybody who knows me, and I have no idea it happens because I was hypnotized to not remember it happening after it happens.
Houseboat.
Nothing happened. I don't know. Actually, I wouldn't know if it happened. Let us know in the comments.
Did you see anything? Boathouse.
But then you could just...
So another thing that I was very scared of when I was little, and I'm less scared of now, earthquakes and volcanoes. And one time my mom told me that she was going to San Francisco, and I was like, no, you can't! There's earthquakes there. I watched a documentary about Pompeii and I was like terrified of volcanoes for like ages.
That'll do it.
Yeah, I was like, volcanoes are gonna get us all. So I don't think I'd be the first to die. I think I'd make it like a third of the way in. So I wouldn't be the person who like discovers the bad thing or whatever.
Yeah.
But I'd be like fully in the group, and either we like just moved apart to like explore the house separately.
Rookie mistake.
I would be like the Fred in the mystery gang. What about you?
Mid-coitus, dying before the person you're coitusing with. The last thing you want is to just be coitusing someone who just got dead.
You would be like in a car in the woods. That's how you die in a horror movie.
There we go.
I get that vibe from you.
We'd be like all going camping, and then I'd be like, oh, like, hey, let's go to the woods. And then we start diddling each other, and then the axe murder comes in and hopefully kills me first.
It's like the most in character for me, and that's drowning. Because for me, being a swimmer, not having that control in the water is so terrifying. Like, any other way of dying would be more preferable.
You know what I wouldn't mind? I don't mind being buried alive. I think that'd be totally fine with me.
That would scare me.
I'd just be like, oh, I'm in a box? Cool.
And you just chill there?
I just go back to sleep.
Okay. Till you run out of air and then you're dead.
Don't you just kind of fall asleep anyway? That's what
you'd pass out.
Whenever I wanted to hide in my toy box when I was younger, my mom's like, don't go under there, you'll suffocate and die.
You'll pass out and then you'll die.
Sounds good to me.
My number one biggest fear is that all of my friends secretly hate me.
Well, it's not a secret, Georgia.
Well, and because like most people will be like, well, no, of course we don't. And it's like, well, that's what someone who secretly hates me would say.
You're right.
So at least you come out and say it, you know? What's next, Sarah?
Living another day. The only thing worse than that, if I die, I need to plan out my own death, specifically so no one ever finds my body, because I don't want some weird little, like, necrophiliac mortician touching my nibbly bits. And that's all I have to say on that matter. That's probably like my biggest fear. What if after you die, your mind is just active, but you're in this dead body and you're just in your body dead like this, but you know everything that's happening around you forever, which means I have to live forever, which is my least favorite thing to do.
I'm more afraid of like the abstract concept of death. So whenever I think about not existing and I'm like, ooh, and that like is the scariest thing. Sarah, what we got coming up next week? The ranking episode. What are we going to do in the ranking episode?
Well, Georgia, we are going to rank various things.
See you next time. This has been ShoopShow.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. See ya. Yeah!
I've seen some pretty, like, trifling knees in my time. When they get, like, loose. I could fill my meat sack with meats. Why don't I just open up my stomach and put a halibut in there?
Just
a haliban. Wait.
A talibit or a haliban?
Just put the whole Taliban in my stomach. Your arms are tied to this and horse, and then your legs are tied to this and horse, and then you make the horse runs in opposite directions.